everybody. It's February. Thank God it is February. And here we are, the second month of 2021. And you know what it is? We are here to reveal our new theme at Hollywood. And, you know, blue skies. Normally I'm doing this in the rain in the last 4 months. But we've got blue skies. It feels more optimistic. And this month is all about doing what you love. And you know that is my middle name, Holly. Do what you love, Tucker. That's what it is. But this time you have actually asked a artist in resident. Has anyone guessed who it is? Because we've been teasing you on stories to come along and to absolutely bring do what you love to life. Now you can see it in the background, can't you? Future joy is coming. I'm going to talk more about this because, oh gosh, it's optimistic. Don't you see? I just have a little pan to the sky, Natalie. Just have a look. There we go. It is blue. And there is something called future and joy in the same sentence. We've also got, because we like to make sure our little hatch is not, here we are, our community is our strength. So, can anyone guess who it is that we have? And I'm not going to tell you just yet, but you probably know already. Right, we're going to go inside because it's really quite noisy. Who realises that there is still a lockdown? You know, people are already coming out of their shells, their homes. Come on in. Here we are. That's a lot quieter. So today, I hope you've caught a few of my lives. It's really, I actually can't wait for these sort of moments. So I'm having to do a few cup of teas in the meantime, and I really hope that you don't mind, because I just miss you. You know, a few days will go by and actually my team have had enough of me, and I think, you know what, the community, that's who I need to speak to. And it is February, as I said, and it's one of the interesting things that we do at Holly & Co is we always look at a month, and maybe you could do this with your business. We look at the month as a brand. So if February was the client, do you know what I mean? Not the client, sorry. If February was the owner of February, you know, what would they want February to be? You know, what are the colours? You know, if they had the colour of the month, what would February say? And we know it's all about Valentine's Day. We know it's about Pancake Day. But I love looking at months and bringing that into everything we do, the mood of Holly & Co. So, little facts for you. Did you know that we are getting 2.5 minutes every day of more sunlight in February? Every single day, 2.5 minutes. And this morning I was in the kitchen and I thought, what's different? One, the dogs haven't pooed or weed on the floor. That's different for me. Not the dogs, poor Mudley. He's house trained at 6. But Chewy, on the other hand, is not necessarily. And I knew what it was, actually. There was light coming into the kitchen. And I thought, my goodness, how much it affects all of us. So those 2.5 minutes for the geeks out here, it actually means 1 hour and 2 minutes extra sunshine we are going to gain in February. That is certainly a suntan, isn't it? Well, sort of. We can definitely put some fake tan on and pretend that that's the reason. So this month is about doing what you love, and two things. One is there are going to be many people, there's going to be so many people you know who have been made redundant. You know, we only have to think of some of the big supermarkets, sorry, not supermarkets, the big department stores. Actually, I've heard on the grapevine there is many more to come in terms of shoe brands, etc., that are going to go under. And we have got so many people who are now maybe in that point of flux. What do I do? And that is what this month is all about. It's going to be about helping people say, do what you love. If you do anything, if you've had 3 or 4 jobs already that have not sparked you, you pay the bills, but you haven't squeezed the juice of life out of your career yet, this is the moment to do it. But on the flip of everything, and that's what we also try and do, is always look at the two sides to everything. There is the element, isn't there, that you can fall out of love of your bloody business. It can it can be the point that actually you used to jump out of bed and now you don't jump out of bed anymore, because either you found yourself making things that you don't enjoy anymore. You used to like what you made because you were the customer, and now you create something that you're no longer the customer, so you don't have the affinity with it. It could be that because of lockdown, because of COVID, it has turned your business into something that's not alive anymore or giving you what it used to give you. It also could be that you're tired. You know, you're tired of not making money. You're tired of not being able to hire anybody. You're tired of it. You know, if it was a partner, you might be considering separating. You know, maybe not divorcing yet, but definitely having that difficult conversation with it. But because it isn't a partner, because it can't slightly talk back to you, you're constantly having to take that responsibility. And so I really understand that, and I think that's a really important thing. And what maybe we can do together is either look on the bright side, the optimism about doing what we love, or we can tackle the darker side of this month, which is I don't love what I do, and how can I? And I'm definitely going to do some Instagrams on this, because it's something I know extremely well, and I've helped many founders with this. We call it like at Holly & Co. If we on the website had a red emergency button, you know, you would absolutely hit that emergency button. So this is what we're going to do. Personally, this month has been quite a month. Harry got his mock results back, and he's done really well. Really well. Is that okay to say? He's done really well. He's studied really hard. He's done well. He's had his equivalent of my E that I got in. Anyway, these are his mocks. But, you know, we always say, listen, you've got to have that disaster, because that disaster means that you know, that's the funny story, darling. And he said he worked really hard to get a disastrous mark. Yeah, so that, well done, Harry, for that. I'm really proud of you for just scraping not a U in a certain subject. But the rest he did so well. He turned 16 years old, and he turned around to me and he said, Mum, I actually think that was the best birthday ever. And I had been so worried about, you know, his 16th. I understand other birthdays, but this was someone's 16th, and I was really nervous. And, you know, as someone said to me, very wise, isn't it amazing? Because these birthdays now, it's many people's second lockdown birthday. And actually the first one we felt very remorseful. And actually I think the second one that comes around, you actually just realise, oh gosh, it's so nice to maybe do something different, and you sort of are relishing the smaller things in life. So I think that's a great thing. And we also are going to start to think about universities. I mean, what the hell? I had a university call. Anyway, whatever. Well, let's see. I don't know if I agree with university. I don't know if he even agrees with it, but you just slightly get pushed along, don't you, by the school? And you sort of are just herded along, and you don't actually even know if you want to be in the queue. So I need to have some headspace there. Right, we've got some lovely comments from the community. We've got Meows and Growl, brilliant. Hello, you're such an inspiration. I'm a schoolgirl in Northern Ireland, and you inspire me so much. We make pet products and all natural treats. We love you. That's so nice. Hello. What a great name, Meow and Growl. Start up with Sophie. This is the positivity we need to hear. Sketchy Mama, I do this in my home. Me and my daughter have made a list of what colours represent each month for our kitchen window display. That, of course you have, Sketchy Mama, of course you have. Lots of well done, Harrys, from the community. Thank you so much. You know it's a nerve-wracking time. So let me tell you about this month, but this is how I'm going to tell you, by showing you this gorgeousness here. As you know, every single month we give away the workshop to an artist in residence, and we want to try and find and help as many people as possible doing that. So if you know, by the way, before I introduce the amazing woman, but if you know an amazing artist or someone who you think is incredibly talented, why don't you get them to email in hello@holly.co, because I call it truffle hunting, you know, little pigs. I know I've done this before, and then I know that because I just did that thing, and then I keep saying to myself, don't do the pig caricature on an Instagram live. But anyway, truffle hunting. I love truffle hunting. So if you know someone that we should bring to life, please let me know. So who is it this month? Well, it's someone I'm going to tell you in a minute, but the reason that we chose this is, as you know, we have 29,000 days on this planet. And it's a really important thing because it actually stays with me throughout building Holly & Co. and I think building your businesses. If we know, and I know this is slightly morbid for a month of Valentine's Day and everything like that, but actually I'll say it probably every month for the next 40 years. So you will hear it a lot from me. We have to remember, we have to do what we love every single day. Steve Jobs has this brilliant quote about, if you look in the mirror and you don't want to do what you're about to do, you know, the strength is within you to change it. Stop and say no and reassess. And that is what we try and really bring to life at Holly & Co. The spirit of saying no, of having the courage to change direction on a live earlier in the week. You remember I was saying, you know, I had a meeting where we were going on one path and it was the courage to steer it into another direction. If every single day is important, if it is literally a countdown to the point where, you know, we get to the end of our lives, then today we're the youngest that we're ever going to be. We are the brightest we're ever going to be. Hence the red lipstick and the big earrings. You know, this is why all these Instagram quotes and Pinterest quotes are out there. Wear the best dresses, wear the fanciest thing, because actually the point of all of that is that it is really real. And we cannot say it enough. And if you're going to build a business, make sure it's going to make you happy. So I want to now tell you that this, if you've not guessed, tell me, okay, guess. Who is this? Who has done this most incredible piece of artwork for us, encapsulating everything we love at Holly & Co. And actually, I'll just tell you before, go on, I want you to guess. I want to see if anyone is going to get it right, and I'm sure that you are. I will tell you something, that this actually represents something very exciting that I'm going to tell you about later on in the month. I've actually got 2 or 3 incredibly exciting things to tell you in February. I'm itching, but I am a 43-year-old, so I can actually keep it together. I am not Olive at 5, who would just tell you instantly. So I'm going to keep it together. So has anyone guessed it? Yes, you have. Okay, so you know that this month's artist is Rebecca Strixon. Now, we love her, and I just don't know, come and have a look at the absolute beautiful detail. Do what you love what you do. A few tassels. It's like Rebecca knows me. Well, she does. I absolutely love a good tassel. And here we go. And we are lucky enough that Rebecca is about to join us live. We've also done a bit of bunting, if you can see in the sky, on the ceiling, that goes with Rebecca's beautiful artwork. And it's just so lovely to be here in the workshop, even though no one's allowed really in. Right, so here we go. I'm going to, as you know, it's a bit in the broom cupboardy. So here we go. We're going to plug ourselves in, and then I'm going to do this, and it's going to go around like that. Hi! And it's going to work. And we're going to invite Rebecca on to have a conversation with us. Now, guys, if you would like to ask Rebecca a question, you know her. She's so open. She's so wonderful. Do let us know what those questions are, and we're going to capture them. Something I'm going to ask her about, and this is the food for thought for you, is as an artist in lockdown, but not just lockdown. I think lockdown has maybe accentuated issues that maybe artists do have generally. How do you get yourself out there? Commerciality of your product. What is the line that you cross where you become commercial but not too commercial? So that's something I'm going to ask her. And I just want to let you know that before I got her on, because you could have a think about what are the questions that you would like to ask Rebecca. So here we go. I'm going to ask her to join us. There she is. And hopefully this is all going to work. You know what it's like, this technology. It is, well, and also we're Mercury retrograde. Can you even cope with it? Hi! Hi! Oh my goodness, it's so nice to see you.
It's so lovely to see you. Thank you so much for asking me to come on. You know I love these things.
Goodness, I mean, look at this beautiful thing. It is
perfect. Considering that because I work with a wonderful lady called Annalisa Middleton, who works with me creating my fabric pieces. And we had when we made this, where was it? It was quite a while ago now, wasn't it?
It was end of last year we got it, I think.
Yeah, and so I only got to spend, we spend a whole day searching for fabrics and cutting and stuff like that. But the final thing I didn't actually see because she finished it and quickly gave it to you. So I was like, oh, when I saw it on the wall, I was like, oh my God. I know it might not be cool to say that you think your own work's fantastic, but it is quite cool to say that, and I do.
It is brilliant. And you know what? The funny thing about this, and we can't reveal, Rebecca, why yes, this top secret thing. But at one point, everyone watching, I was standing, not me actually, I got two other people to stand in the middle of a field in front of people holding this up for about 5 minutes. And they were screaming that their arms were hurting so much. And we took the most unbelievable photo, but that will be revealed, won't it, Rebecca?
It's very exciting,
other ways. Tell me, I can't believe that the last time we were together was, and actually we were physically together, which is crazy, wasn't it?
I know.
It was when you were
in a space with someone at the moment is like, oh, we used to do that, didn't we? We used to sit in rooms with each other at one point.
I know, it's just bizarre. You came here to the workshop in the summer with that lovely break in between 1 and 2 lockdown.
Yes.
And you judged the kids' art competition here, and it was just fantastic.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen you since. So tell me, how is life at the moment?
Well, it's been interesting. We have our health, and we're all good down here in Margate. Though I feel like I should apologise on behalf of all Margatians for creating a new variant of the disease, of the virus. We didn't mean to do that, that's for sure. We're good. We are getting on with things. There's lots of projects in the house. Me and my housemate Laura have been painting things and doing rooms up and keeping ourselves busy. So it's been trying and it's been hard. This lockdown has definitely been difficult because I've been coming up to London quite a lot beforehand. Yeah. So all that's out the window now. So it's about discovering the things, like you say, it's discovering the small things you can do to keep yourself occupied and happy, and really drilling down into what the essence of what makes you happy and what makes you able to continue and get out of bed and do the things you need to still do to survive.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a lot of learning, a lot of like relearning.
I think maybe, and community, let me know if you feel the same. I have definitely, and maybe it's like, oh, Holly, yeah, of course, everybody, but and now I feel like an idiot saying it, but this has been by far the hardest. I mean, it's I don't know, 1 and 2 slightly passed me by, and maybe super busy, etc., etc. But I think on the back of this new year, fresh start, even if we don't believe in the bollocks that is, but do you know what I mean? You have it ingrained in you.
Yeah.
And you actually we kept on saying, I don't know why we all did it. Can't wait for 2021. Can't wait. Why did we do that?
I know, because it's all one long thing. Take out the new year. It doesn't really mean anything anyway. You're still just in this long stretch. And I think you do. I mean, I'm not a New Year's resolution person ever. Anyway, no. I don't do that. And I think you'll just set yourself up for a fall, especially when we knew that things were bad. Things were really bad, and we knew they weren't going to suddenly get better. But Christmas is always that light. Whether you celebrate it or not, it's a period of relaxation and time to go. Yes. But of course, January, I mean, it's been freezing, it's been snowy, it's been so cold down here and windy.
So dark.
And it's dark. And, that really, I get really affected by weather. Really affected by weather. Yeah. And also because I'm like getting old, my joints hurt. I'm like an old lady at home sometimes. But yeah, I had a really dark few weeks, a couple of weeks ago, and I just didn't know what to do. And there was with it a apprehension that there hadn't been in the other lockdowns, because and I'm sure we'll talk about this later, I had to really change my business around quite a lot last year in terms of what I was doing, and that had also got a sense of optimism about it and excitement because it was an opportunity. But with this January, it was like, I don't think I can do that again for another year. And it was very hard, and it was like, what if it doesn't work? What if this doesn't work? And I think
that's a really good point. Let's pick up on that point, because actually so many people last year, the way we got through it, if you think about it, is we pivoted, didn't we? If we need to do something with our business, we did it. And I think that we gained a lot of energy, nervous excitement, you know, like I'm doing something new, etc., etc. But actually now you're almost going, I can't do that again, because I can't. I can't go and get that energy from that again. I can't start changing my business every 4 months, for goodness sake. And so then you're not stuck, but you are where you are. So you don't have that as a resource. You don't have that as an option to say, oh yeah, no, I'm just going to 100% reinvent myself.
Exactly.
Do you think that's such a good point? Because I think maybe that's what we've been feeling.
I think it's really key. And I think, you know, in some way we were, as a community and as a industry, the best placed people to deal with all of this, because we're creative and we are used to thinking on our feet, and we're used to swapping and changing, and we have a capacity to do that larger businesses don't, hence so many people going out of business. So to begin with, that was like, we can do this, this is a challenge, we've got it, we can do it. But faced with the idea of having to repeatedly do it, then yes, it's very hard, and it is, and there's only so much you can do. Lots of people saying on the chat they're exhausted. Yes, you know, but lots of people have it really hard. Lots of people have it harder than me. Lots of people are in a lot of trouble, but we're all exhausted, and we shouldn't diminish our feelings of tiredness and exhaustion, especially if you've got children and you're dealing with childcare as well. You know, this is a lot, and it's okay to say this is a hell of a lot.
I was talking to someone this morning, and it was incredible. They knew better, right? They definitely knew better. But the school had said, right, we're going to do an assessment, right? And they were very, very nervous about this assessment, because actually they were a working parent, and some people haven't been working and been able to basically fall in line with the teachers, you know, curriculum, that the whole curriculum sent to your home, you know, etc., etc. And she knew better, by the way. She's a working parent, 2 working parents, and, you know, that kid is going to be okay. She still was judging herself on the fact that probably she hasn't done the curriculum properly, and that this assessment is going to highlight that she's somehow failed. And I'm just like, the aim of the game is keep these kids alive. Aim of the game is keep their brains going. And
there's a reason why you train to be a teacher. And you don't just turn up at the school and go, I'll give it a go. People train for years to do this, because it's hard.
But what is it about our psyche, isn't it? It's our psyche going, gosh, and maybe it's a very female thing. You know, I failed at that. And I said, well, funny enough, unless you are a teacher, unless you didn't have a full-time job, and you did the best you can. Actually, schools, what are you doing assessments? Christ's sake, you know, leave it alone. Get the kids back, do the assessment then, see where they're at, and please take over, you know. And we're hoping, by the way, aren't we? We're hoping that this is going to be in March, you know, that kids will go back. We're hoping that May might be our month, right? For all of us. So how you diversified last year, and you started bringing kids into your world. What have you seen based on what we've just spoken about? What have you seen going on behind the sort of, you know, the wall of interacting with children?
Well, I mean, for a start, it's been on one level, I just love it. I love doing it. It makes me laugh so much. I was just doing one this morning before this, and but they just have me in stitches. The things they come up with. But obviously I see into lots of people's homes, literally, and I talk to the mums and dads and the guardians and the people who are looking after the children that are there, and they are tired and they are knackered, and they just want someone. And I just see myself as someone that can come in for 30 minutes and just do something else that you don't have to come up with. I think, and it's very different this time around from what it was when I started doing it almost a year ago. Children they're worried. the kids are worried themselves that they are not doing, because I make it it's a very stress-free environment. They don't have to do a certain thing. We come up with a theme and then we work around that. There's no agenda. You don't have to do it right. There's no right or wrong. It's just about creation for like 40 minutes a day. And I get I'm getting a lot more messages back from parents now saying thank you so much, and it's great to just have them not having to worry about schoolwork. And I think that's it. I have a nephew who's 7, who is quite a bright, creative kid anyway. And like Anna Sterling saying there, they miss their friends so much. Younger children are still kind of, I think, in that not really understanding what's going on. And when something happens that your parents can't explain to you either, that's quite terrifying. And then obviously the older kids are just bored and fed up and just want it done with, and they're like starting to worry about their exams and things like that. And there is only so much you can say to a child that will let them calm down a little bit. So I think there is a lot more of that about.
And do you think that when now you've ventured into helping children with your art classes, do you think that you'll continue that? What I'm interested in is like so much, and by the way, there's no right or wrong there, because when we pivot, we try new things. It might work, it might not work. What do you think that you've learned for your business by venturing into the unknown a year ago? And has that been something that has sparked new ideas for new direction in your business?
Absolutely. I mean, prior to this, my interaction with people was based on workshops, lectures and talks and things like that. And they were obviously in person with, from anything from 5 to 20, 30, 40 people at a time. So immediately couldn't do those. So, and there's only so much you can replicate that online. Yes. When I do banner making workshops, you can't, it's not about me showing you a thing, because the whole point is you're making your own thing. So that in itself was quite tough. So a lot of people instantly were like, can you offer it online? And I was like, I can't offer that online. So the children's classes was a chance to do a workshop style environment without having to dictate anything. So I would like to continue doing that, definitely. I mean, I do it for free, and I'm not interested in making money out of it at all. I think it's just it's as fun for me as it is for them. And once I've got the time and the inclination and the ability, I'm going to carry on doing it. But another thing that has come out, which is quite recently, I've been working with 2 friends, and we've been offering actually dictated workshops. So we make a lot of Chinese lanterns. My friend Emma and her boyfriend Alex, we've been doing it in conjunction with the Barbican Centre, and we're just doing some new stuff with Hastings Gallery at the moment, where we will be sending things out to people, and then they make along with us. So so we're going to do that. We've got a workshop as part of the POW Festival down in Margate, the Power of Women Festival for International Women's Day in a few weeks. We'll be doing that. So you will get a kit, and then we all do it together. Brilliant. So that was something that, initially last year I was like, I can't do that. And now we're like, we can do it. We actually can. Creative learning departments of a lot of institutions have woken up to this idea as well. I think that's important. There is money there for these things.
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
Well, really
We've got
important.
lots of comments. Studio Annika, future is joy is such a lovely sentiment, which it is. It's just the best. Baloo and Yi, I'm struggling emotionally with the market. I'm in being completely saturated due to COVID and hobbies increasing. That is a real point, isn't it?
That is
actually
definitely
those
happening.
Areas, that used to be your area, and now people are like, right, well, what can I do? I've got some time on my hands, and that's quite interesting. Powder and Butterfly, I am loving JOMO, the joy of missing out. Lockdown has taught me to do that. I've got to say that, right? Sometimes I'm like, God, I used to have to go to these things that I didn't want to go to. And no, I don't. I just do it online. And it's like, okay, well, I can definitely do half an hour online. But actually traveling up to town, 2 hours there, back from town, there is something about that, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's things that I do not miss at all in any
I know.
way.
And it's hopefully our strength to say, and even when things return, I'm still not going to be doing that. That's the thing. Lillian May Studio, the new artwork looks glorious, and the encouragement and good vibes is just what I needed. We've got Hands and Heart Company. Rebecca's artwork is utterly joyful. Those colours and the gold. I mean, it is that gold,
Always.
isn't it?
Always
Oh,
get golden. Always
gold and gold tassels.
Tassels.
La Femme illustration, definitely the hardest lockdown, but definitely feeling more optimistic with spring around the corner, which is absolutely right. Bloom and Bear Studio, I have such familiar thoughts and feelings. Mrs. Marvelous, I think we exhausted ourselves by recreating and using so much energy last year.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for taking time out. I had planned to take January out, actually, which I ended up half doing through my mental health being poor anyway. But I had intended to take time out to rethink about some things, and it's kind of worked and it kind of hasn't. But you can't, I know we're all chasing this and we're all desperate and we're all worried, but you have got to give time for yourself when you can, however you can, if that's possible, and carve out that space as much as you carve out the time to work. Because you will burn out and you will not be able to do it at all.
Absolutely. Dominic Songbird, it's so tough. I've had to defer my degree till next January. Just can't concentrate and focus on my studies. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Monmouth Botanicals, I get my 10-year-old involved in our business. He has learnt so much. Also maths, measuring perfumery materials too. Also, I've lost the, although lots of mum guilt too. Yeah, mum guilt. Yes. And that, as I just said, you know, someone felt so much mum guilt. She's around her child all the time at the moment, right? So, but how can we as mums still feel guilt? Oh, they're right next to me all day long. They are pretty happy, and yet somehow we're still not doing the best that we can.
It's a female thing. It's a really female thing.
Cherry pick kind. This is such an important conversation for us to have, and I couldn't agree with you more. I've got a question for you, Rebecca, from Pink Line Mango. Hi, Rebecca. I love your artwork. Who or what influences or motivates you?
Oh, crikey. Well, I mean, I talked in the past quite a lot about, I am a huge fan of pre-Raphaelite artwork, basically. So that kind of Victorian colour and the ideas behind it and the intensity of it. I think that's always been a huge kind of influence in the background. In terms of the banner making, somebody just mentioned how they've been to Disneyland and seen Ed Hall's banners. Ed Hall is a very famous banner maker, and I was lucky enough to meet him once. All that kind of the artistry and the information behind trade union banners has always been a huge thing to me, and community and friendly society banners, which are incredibly beautiful and used to be huge like artistic concerns back in when they were really prevalent pre-unionization, basically. Here's a small a history lesson on banners, but they are fascinating things, and I think for me it's about the color and the design and the wording. Though that's not always about the wording, that's really important to me, but it's also really important that something, and it's as valuable that something can look good. You know, William Morris was always saying about have nothing in your house that's neither useful or beautiful or whatever it was. And I think that's it. I think we sometimes discount beautiful things as being not as valid, and that's not true at all. They're fantastic.
Yeah,
you know,
gosh, I can see everything you're saying, and I just absolutely, well, you know I do. I absolutely love what you do. Tell me, before you came on, I mentioned, and it's something that I'm always interested in, you know, as much as, you know, it's about creating useful and beautiful. It is, if you run a business, if you are an artist with a commercial side to your your business, to your organization, then how do you, as an artist, take those levels, you know? So from being, and I remember, if anyone came to the Congregation of Inspiration 2019, I was lucky enough to have Rob Ryan on the stage, and we did a live podcast, and he was talking about the shit he got from lots of people when he had, you know, he saw his prints on a mug, let's say, and that was, you know, the moment that people said, you sold out. He was like, you know what? I put my prints on that mug to pay for the fact that I've now got a studio and I hire people and I do incredible work. Talk to me about your viewpoint on that, because I think that that's an interesting area where I think people don't know how to create
definitely.
their levels.
I have had conversations with people in business about this as well, especially if you consider yourself a fine artist as well as an applied artist, although the term applied artist is not, I don't think anybody should use it anymore anyway. The idea that you are somehow less valid because you sell your work. Art is always about selling. It's all about money. It always has been about money. You know, we haven't been starving garret artists looked after by our wealthy, you know, thoughtful patrons for 200 years or something now, you know, and it was never about that anyway. The idea that somehow you have to suffer for your art is ridiculous. You know, that somehow you have to be this person who can't possibly make, like, it's just not a thing. There is a lot to be said for splitting your business into two things in a way. I mean, I have two sides to my business. I have commercial work and I have the work I sell. So I have a shop and that's got all my things in. And then I do commission pieces for people and I do exhibition pieces for people. I don't feel any shame or guilt or anything about being able to do both of those things at the same time, because they have slightly different reasonings behind them.
Yeah.
You know, and quite often the things that I make that I love are not the things that sell. I sometimes look at the things that sell in my shop and go, who is buying this? But people like it and that's fine. Who am I to say that they're not right in any way? But it's always interesting to see that. I think that, you know, in a practical sense, you can brand yourself as two things. That can work. You know, if you're really concerned about having your name as being your artwork, you can create a separate, like, brand, like they do in fashion. Like you have prep, you know, pret-a-porter versus haute couture. You can do that with your work. I mean, it's more, but it's about a mental break as well. It's about mentally deciding what things are yours for doing creatively and for your passion and for yourself, and maybe what are the things you're doing that you know will sell. But the idea that you should feel bad because you sell work that quite rightly allows you to, all my print sales allow me to make big fabric pieces.
Yes.
You know, and that to me is incredible. I couldn't take a loan out every time I wanted to make a banner.
Do you think that that's something historic that's kept with us? You know, all these sort of things like mummy's guilt, and like we still continue these sort of conversations, don't we? An artist is not really an artist if they sell their work, or actually if an artist is actually listening who feels that they can't possibly do that, but they've been stuck in the same place for a decade because actually they've not taken that leap into actually saying, you know what, it is okay. This is my warped sense of what art is now, and how people will judge me. Because actually some of the most unbelievable work that I'm seeing coming through is from people who have been an artist and now they're going into the commercial world with it. That is by far one of my sweet spots of love, because I love art, but I love the brain, the way their brains work, all different, but they just look at things in a different way, and it's not from seeing a gap in the market, and it's not from doing this, it's actually the way that they look at their art, they look at their products, and I find it beautiful, an absolutely beautiful thing.
Absolutely. I mean, there's commerciality being like a dirty word is ridiculous. You know, I am an anti-capitalist. I have to say that. That doesn't mean I don't sell things, because we live in a capitalist society and we have to do things like that. That doesn't mean that I therefore participate in mass consumption of, you know, poorly made items or anything like that. And a big problem with our industry is fighting against that kind of thing. You know, people seeing their work, you know, copied and made mass market and appearing on eBay and stuff like that. I'm very lucky that hasn't happened to me so far, but I don't expect that it will at some point. You know, it's you put in as much love to your commercial work as you do to your, you know, as to your personal work and things like that. I'm only as good as the last thing I ever make.
Absolutely.
I don't phone anything in.
And I think another thing is that this idea, and there's a brilliant book, and I'm going to forget, I always talk about it and always forget the title. Actually, we've got it in the bookshop. Yeah, right. Could you grab it? The Whole Foods author, the founder of Whole Foods.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's all about this, and it's really good for a good, simple read. It's just about, and it's one of the first books. So, you know, I had it about 3 or 4 years ago about making money. Why on earth is that a bad thing? You can make money and then create a business that does so much good. Now, you couldn't do it if you were scraping, you know, for pennies behind the sofa. So actually, we've all got to say our businesses need to be, you know, we need to drive revenue.
Yeah,
we need to drive profit. You need to be able to live a good life. And every year that might
just have to let the dog out.
Oh, go and let the dog out.
Sorry, she was whining at me.
But you know what I mean? Like, that is the thing. We are here to make money. We are here to make profit. We are here to get bigger and better. Here we are, conscious capitalism. And it's liberating the heroic spirit of business. And it is, he was the CEO of Whole Foods. Unfortunately sold to Amazon, but there you go. But it's actually a brilliant, brilliant book. Now, talking of products, tell us about these gorgeousnesses that are exclusively available on our site. Look at this.
We have got cards.
You look at this, matching.
I love cards. I love making cards, and I never make enough of them.
Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Maybe apart, but put together in heart. Absolutely. Look at that colour. Jeez, God, you're good. And then we've got a beautiful pin here. Future joy is coming.
I have got mine on somewhere. There we go.
Oh, there we are. You've got it on. There we go. And this is available on the holly.co website. And now look at this.
Yes, there is a very nice little print just for you guys.
Oh, I love it so much. Do what you love. I mean, it is. I'm going to get it out of the cellophane. I'm seeing the thing here. It's absolutely stunning. Now, how many have you sent to us? I can't remember.
Well, they're here. They're all here, but they're on their way to you today because they arrived.
Brilliant. Well, there you go, everybody.
Yeah.
If you want to order that, that's not many. It's absolutely stunning.
So
I'm
hopefully will be with you tomorrow. They should be with you tomorrow in the post. So
here's the QVC moment, everyone. It's just literally here. And I can even tell you how much they are. I'm literally doing QVC here. We have got them. They're £35. And look at that. Just stunning. And it feels so spring-like. It feels exactly right for this moment, doesn't it? With our hope and, oh my gosh, it's just amazing. Tell me, I've got some more questions for you. Can I just ask you those? Here we are. Anna Sterling Illustrations. I love your artwork. How do you get inspiration being stuck in lockdown? It's so bloody hard not to be able to go to places. The internet just isn't the same.
It's not the same, but it is very useful. And it is an excellent tool to get lost in rabbit holes on. Instagram as well, for all its faults, has lots of very useful stuff on it. I mean, I am lucky to be able to go out and wander around, you know, Kent a little bit and see stuff, but it's hard, and I think it's okay to accept that it is hard, but your work is not going to be inspired maybe by the same things as it would normally, but that's an opportunity to maybe look towards different things. There is, I know we can't all go and buy a book every time we want to think of some new idea or something like that, but maybe it's a case of looking back at old things that you've done and can you rework them? Can you redesign anything you've already made? Can you combine things that you've done before to make something new? I think it's about taking a bit more lateral thinking on stuff.
I love that. I hadn't thought of that actually. It's almost like, so take how you started and why don't you go and pimp that up? And actually we all look at things, don't we? And we need to not have that throwaway mentality on ideas, potentially. That throwaway landfill. It's almost like not having landfill for ideas. It's actually go back and rejig it, reharness it, and give it life again. We've got Willie and Morris. Beautiful things in the home are now more important than ever. I think people now understand the true value of artists.
From what I have sold compared to what I normally sell, I would say that there's definitely a lot more people buying stuff. Last year, that was the most surprising thing to me was, lockdown. We started that lockdown and we were in March last year, and I was like, all my work was cancelled instantly. because everything that I did was, you know, either public facing or with people who had lost their budgets. But then everyone started to buy stuff. And I think a lot of people were like, oh, well, if I'm going to sit in this place for 24 hours a day, I want to look at something nice while I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
And that has been great for me. But it's been great for me.
Yeah.
But that
I know it's been great for lots of people. You know, this is the thing. And I think that maybe, I don't think, as we all know, not everything is going to go back to normal.
No.
It's going to go back to normal, but not the normal. Because I actually think that this trend is going to continue. We've got florals at number 9. Loving this, Holly and Rebecca. Glorious artwork. Oh.
Thank you.
And thoughtful Potter. I totally agree. My daughter Verity was told her work was too commercial when she was at uni. Views need to change on this. I mean,
I have a lot of issues with a lot of what is told in academia. I did talk to the UA at the University of Arts London last year, just before lockdown, to an entire room of foundation teachers, basically, about how, you know, how important what you tell your students has in a long-lasting effect for their careers. I was told things on my foundation course I still think about, and only now I'm like, that's not true. That's not a thing, you know. And I think teachers need to be, I mean, I'm not bashing them because they do an incredible job as well, but they do need to be conscious of the fact that their personal opinion on things isn't necessarily business wide.
Yes,
and,
absolutely. And like parents, you know, it's still at that time you're influencing people, isn't it? It really is that moment that you're slightly still molding them. And so those things, like Deborah just said, you know, being told, don't be that commercial. That
what does that even mean? What does that even mean? You know, that's like,
it's like, also, by the way, I want to go to that lecturer and say, oh my God, you must have a magic wand. You know what is commercial.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'd like to sell a shitload of things. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, so saying there's some, I mean, I'm not knocking teachers. I've got teachers in my family as well. And my aunt, my sister, lots of people teaching in my family, and it's incredibly hard. And my issue is predominantly with the government in that sense, not any individual or even any school or any institution. But when you get to university, it's a different thing to, you know, national curriculum. And there are, as ever, there are great students and teachers. There are really bad teachers as well. And that needs to be accepted. And we do, you know, and pretending that they aren't is not helping anybody at all.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a last, I think, Dominique Songbird. Lots of galleries do virtual tours. It's not the same, but you can visit all the overseas galleries you wouldn't usually go to. My goodness, I didn't know that actually.
There's loads of things like that. I'm obsessed with the London Underground. Because I'm a geek and a happy nerd. So I'm doing one of their hidden London tours on Sunday. So I would normally go and do them in the flesh, where you go like to disused tube stations and things like that. So London Transport Museum are doing those tours on Zoom. So you can see things that you would never be able to see.
Oh,
if you're a transport geek like me. It's niche. I appreciate it. It's very niche.
Oh, no.
But they're doing that. Things like that. Fantastic.
Oh, my Gabby, my co-founder, she loves that. So she will love that. I'm going to tell her. Lots of love, by the way, coming through for your products. Absolutely. And I'm very glad that the prints are going to arrive tomorrow, because I can already see what's happening online. So there we go. We've had a real QVC moment, and everyone's rushing to buy them. Bless you for your time today. Thank you so much. I love it. And honestly, there's nothing that this can't cheer up. It's just like you. It's your personality on our wall, beaming out of us, even though you can't have your face beaming out of us all the time. I could
have just done my face massive for your window, but I don't think that would help your business entirely.
Bless you, Rebecca, as ever. I love working with you. And for everyone that's got kids, join Rebecca's art class.
All my stuff's on my Instagram, or there's the link tree on there that's got links to the art classes. They're free every Wednesday, Friday and Saturday. Anybody can join. They are for children, but we do have a lot of adults doing them as well, because it's mainly 40 minutes of me talking. So you can ask me anything. I'd also like to say, from a point of view, if anybody wants advice, or you can always email me, you can always message me.
Oh,
I have no problem in doing that at all. So,
oh, that's so lovely. You'll be regretting saying that in a minute.
I will regret saying that. I won't say I'm going to reply immediately.
Oh, you're so... Thank you. bless you as ever. I love every
No problem.
moment. You're a sunbeam in my face, and thank you. Bless you.
No problem. Thank you so much. Have a lovely weekend.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I absolutely adore her. She is that. Oh, she's just that thing. And you know, for anyone who is an artist, for anyone who loves art, anyone has children who are artists, anyone, all those things, let's get them really thinking about the commerciality of what they do, and that the C word, well, there's some C words that are definitely bad. They can also be quite funny in some personalization now and again. But anyway, generally, the other C word, commerciality, needs to stop becoming this thing that we worry about. What you want to do when you're a small business is you want to grow. You want to sell things. You want to make money. You need to make profit. You need to expand and grow. Worry about being too big when you're knocking on the door of GlaxoSmithKline. Do not worry about those things. Cross the bridges when you get to them. There is no point worrying. It is a negative, wasteful energy. And what we've got to be concentrating on is how we go forward. And I think one of the interesting things that came out of that is, yes, there's been a ton of energy that we have expelled. Remember, you cannot reinvent yourself every 2 seconds. If you have pivoted already, do not feel like you need to pivot again. Now you need to, as Natalie and our team say, you need to juice that lemon. And as we are going to one day, one of our dreams at Holly & Co when we began is we're going to create the Small Business English Dictionary. So we're actually going to create an entire dictionary full of the most brilliant words that this community would use. And juicing the lemon would be growth strategy potentially in a corporate language, but for us it's juicing the lemon. So I want you to juice that lemon. I want you to go and buy one of these prints. There's not going to be many left, but look at that. Think about lemon juicing and that print, and that's what you need. Sending all my love to you all. It's been a joy. As I said, I've got a few surprises up my sleeve. I want you to go and have a great Friday. Don't beat yourself up. Go and put your face, if you can, into the light of the sky. Thank everybody and everything for all you have. And let's keep on trucking. Sending you all my love.